So now we want to keep score, and in order to keep score, we need to add an instance variable called score to the paddle class. What that's going to do for us is now when we create the left paddle, it's going to also have a score variable, and when we create the right paddle, he's also going to have a score variable. And when we think about it, we want to initialize the value of score to 0. Right? That's because the left paddle scores 0 when we first start, and the right paddle scores 0 when we first start. So how are we going to do that? Well, we come in here to our Pong game, and we drive on up to the class paddle right up here. And in the set of instant variables, we're going to add another one. So it's like self.score equals 0. So that's great because when we create our left paddle, he's going to have a score as one of his instance variables, and when we create the right paddle, he's also going to have score. Okay, great. So now what? Now we want to make sure that we blit the score to the screen. So we want to blit two things. We want to blit the player 1 score, and we also want to blit the player 2 score. We don't want it to reflect the state of the game just yet. All we want to blit is player 1 score 0 and player 2 score 0. So how can we do that? Well, I have that as a try now without any additional, direction, because we've already done that, right? We come on down here into our game. What did we do? We created two text objects, right? We created one for the title Pong and one for the click here text. So if we want to create another one for the score, you know exactly how to do it, right? We are going to grab all this stuff here, and we're going to go ahead and come down, paste it in, and I'm going to put here, this is player 1 score. And then I'm going to come in here and change these variables first, right? So it's not going to be click, it's going to be p1 underscore score. And then for my rect, I'm not going to be click.rect, I'm going to be p1 underscore score dot rect. Same thing here and here. And I'll save that. And then of course I want this text to change. I don't want it to say click here. I want it to say player 1 score semicolon, right? But after that, I want it to say the player 1 score. So how do I do that? I'm going to say plus, and then I'm going to say paddle left dot score, right? But if I go ahead and run this, it's going to error out, I think. Yeah. So then why does it error out? Because the error is cannot concatenate string and int objects. So what is that saying? That's saying that right here, since this is a string and I'm using the plus sign, it's not addition, it is concatenation, meaning we're taking this string and we're going to stick it onto the, we're going to take, I'm sorry, this string and we're going to stick it onto the end of this string, right? But then, so that's what string concatenation is trying to do. But this guy here is an int, right? It's a score, it's a 0, it's the number 0. So we need to first convert this guy to a string. So we'll say string score, and we will run that guy, and everything works fine. Okay. So great. We have our score, but we now need to blit it onto the screen, right? So how do we blit it onto the screen? Well, do we blit it during the intro? Well, do you want to see the score during the intro? Right? No, right? You don't want to see it during the intro. Do we blit it during the play? Do you want to see the score during the play? Yes, you do. So we're going to put it right in here. We're also, when we finish, we're going to have an outro loop, right? To play, to display what we want to display during the outro when we're during the ending of the game. So would you want to put it there? Would you want to blit the score there? Maybe, but I don't know. In my version, I didn't because I just said whoever won, right? Player 1 won or player 2 won. That's it. I didn't print the score. So we're going to blit it right here in the play loop. So we take a closer look at the play loop, and we have reading the keystrokes. We are running updates on all our objects, and then we are blitting everything to the screen, right? So here is where we want to blit our text that says the score, right? Do we want to do it here? No, we do not want to do it here, right? Why not? Because this, whenever I look at this line here, what I imagine in my mind is we have the projector. He's in the middle of the room. He has the screen on top of the projector. And then when we fill white, we take a big bucket of paint and we just throw it on top of the projector, right? So it just erases everything that was written on it in the past iteration of this while loop. And yeah, clears the screen for what we're going to write on this next iteration of the while loop. So if we put the screen blit here for the score, it's going to be covered with the paint, and we're not going to be able to see it, right? So we don't want to do it before that. We want to do it after. So I'm going to say screen dot blit, and blit requires an image, a surface, and a rect, right? So I'm going to say p1 underscore score. That's where I save the font surface. And then I'm going to say p1 underscore score rect. That's where I save the position information, right? So then I'll go ahead and run that, and we should see the score there. So here we go, right? It's right there. The position is off because I set it to center X of the screen. We want to play around with that number, right? Probably put it right here. And then the Y position is off as well, right? So we want to put it maybe somewhere here. I don't know. You can do whatever it is you want to do with it. I saw somebody with a big 0 right here, right? With no player 1 score, just a big 0. And then over here, a big 0. That's kind of cool, right? It's like, looks like the background. So what is the try now? The try now is to make also a player 2 score, print out their score, and put it in the right position. So good luck with that.